Kyle, and you're listening to the Movie Rage Show.
It's time for the movie rating. Tonight's victim is Dan Kyle, that is currently playing in Friday the 13th, Jason Rising.
Hello, how are you?
Busy. So, being in this film, I mean, there's like tons of Friday the 13th films, like fan films, are just popping out of nowhere out of someone. Do you think this is kind of like a rebellion in some way against the studios, especially with this legal battle that's going on for the next 7 years?
Yeah, I think it's been a while. I think it's been like 10 years when we've actually had a Friday the 13th actual Jason movie that's been out. Fans, they want more. They want, this big horror genre, and fans of the Friday the 13th series, we want more, and we want great content. And I think with the rise of a lot of films, like Halloween's been redone. I think they redid Nightmare on Elm Street and everything, and nothing really coming out. I think people are like, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm such a fan, I'm going to, get a camera and we're going to shoot our own fan film, or get with some friends, or do that, because there's this hunger for this genre, and I think people are kind of tired and waiting. And plus myself, we all want to see more, and we want to see a good movie. We want to see something that's fun, that's still with the tradition of the Friday the 13th franchise.
It doesn't matter which Friday the 13th film it is. I mean, they do enjoy doing this, but when we're having to forcibly wait for this whatever legal battle crap that they're going with this Friday the 13th film, I mean, or even more existing films, I mean, that's a lot of suing if you see a whole band of Friday the 13th fan-made films out there and trying to get there. But honestly, these studios, once this legal battle is over, man, they need to start listening and start paying attention to these guys, because you're losing your fan base from the studio. The fans are losing respect for you as the studio when this ongoing thing is going on. You're not making anything, or let alone try to make a decent Friday the 13th. You're losing diehard fans here, and they're going toward the independent circuit stuff, because this is where the attention is really buzzing, because everyone is really agreeing with everybody. It doesn't matter if it's really cheesy or not. The fact is, this art is growing and growing, and it's really a kind of like a powerful message, because these big studios, of course, all they care about is really to get the product out there, get the money out there, and so forth. But you got to have a structured story with it. You can't just simply have, here's Jason Voorhees' iconic hockey mask and just kill people. It's not that simplistic anymore, like in the early 80s,
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree.
But having to perform in Jason Rising, where do you think the acceptance in this film is really going to pay off the most? Which parts of it do you think, like with playing as Jason, or do you think the story might be very well received and so forth?
I think it's going to be, my honest opinion is it's going to be story-driven. Most of pretty much what I've read of this story is really good, and I know I have a dog in the fight, but it's a really good story, and we've got a really good cast and crew on it, die-hard Friday the 13th fans that want to put their best foot forward and make something really great and be able to share with everybody. And then our hopes of delivering to the fan base of what they really want and what they deserve. And I think if you get a team together that collectively all feel the same about horror and movies, and especially the Friday the 13th franchise, I really think you could really do something great. People excited about it, interested and enjoy what you've created. And this spirals off too to all the other fan films and people doing things, and get them interested in watching not just one or more discussion, and really building up a good fan base for your content.
Yeah, acceptance really is becoming a little bit less noticeable now. On a lot of these fan-made films and stuff, because if it says fan-made film, or if it says short, chances are these other known companies are not going to really take it seriously. Like in terms of, okay, we'll look at it. It's almost like a demo tape, left from your band. They're going to look at it, and then they'll just pass on. But then when someone else is really generating enough buzz on this, they're like, well, maybe I guess we're wrong. Maybe we'll cut you a little deal or something like that. We'll, as long as we get the half of the content of created ability of it and stuff like that. I'm like, just when it comes to this kind of thing, it has to be noticed now, because every year that keeps going by, studios are becoming more and more aggressive toward restricting other filmmakers and what they want to do. It's almost like you're taking words away from them and just say, okay, just point your finger and then we'll take care of the rest.
Sure, absolutely.
Do you think this is a much more serious role than what it is? I mean, of course, everyone likes to play as Jason. Everybody, I mean, especially if you're doing a fan-made film that you're doing yourself. It's like you want to play Jason, you hop into the costume, like, yeah, this is fun, this is awesome, I could do this. But at the same time, I mean, you have to be serious about it. You have to understand what that character is. Jason is not just some zombified wielding machete killer here. I mean, there's much more to him than just, wearing that mask.
Absolutely, and that taking on a character, any character that I do for my work, of course, using Jason Voorhees as the prime example, it's more than putting on a mask and grabbing a machete, because anybody can do that. And we know people love to dress up for Halloween and cosplay and all that. There's an honor and there's a respect. It's a privilege to be able to play this character. Somebody created it out of some figment of imagination many, many, many years ago, and Voorhees has evolved into this, iconic horror character that you can compare, in my opinion, to the Wolfman and Dracula and the Creature of the Black Lagoon, the Mummy, the Invisible Man, and then you have others, Freddy and Michael Myers and stuff. Like I said, you don that mask and costume, and when you put on that or grab that weapon or whatever it is, you almost kind of have to do your own transformation or work on your own backstory, and there has to be some sort of motivation with this character. He's not just some zombified thing, kill, and what can I do for the coolest kill? What's driving Jason Voorhees? What's the visceral part of his motivation? Is it for his mother? Is it for his father? Is it because, this or that, or childhood, or being the condition that he has with being born with a slightly, the bigger head? And I forget what the disease is called. Hydrocephalic or something like that. How does that, his condition of being born different? Was he teased? Is he getting revenge for people teasing him? Is he getting revenge for being neglected or being treated as some sort of mongoloid or some sort of retarded type of child where people don't want to work with? All of this stuff, and it's tons and tons of things that you have to, that you work on and you develop that you can use, and once you step on that set, you take that leap of faith and inject that soul into that character to the best of your ability and bring the character out. You want to bring your very best for the fans. And then the end result for me is I would like fans to go, man, I really dig that Jason Voorhees version from Dan Kyle. That was pretty cool. And if I can do that, then I've done my job, and I, let my hands free and post work on the film, and everybody doing their part. We can create something really great. But yeah, putting on the hockey mask for me is not to be taken lightly. It is serious, because like I said, anybody can just put something on and hack and slash, and that's great. What's the deeper meaning? What's the deeper drive? What's his motivation? Why is he doing this?
When you're performing these types of characters, you have to get some kind of an idea of what they might be going through, or at least try to pick a path to where maybe the audience could see that point of view from your point of view, especially performing such an iconic character now in this type of fan-made film and stuff like that. Because playing this character, I mean, there's all kinds of, you have to keep your cool, you have to keep level-headed, and you have to understand exactly what this character is and the movement. I mean, everything has to mean everything, because fans are gonna be watching, even film goers are gonna be watching you, and you yourself kind of have to take notes, like, maybe I need to do this, and before you see it on film, this has to be dead on,
Absolutely.
There's just no room for no trial and error here anymore, because as time goes, man, demanding in terms of better quality content, and that includes the characters. The characterization has to be really good. Again, you don't always have to fully understand what that character is. I mean, it's okay in that matter, because that's the best part of it, especially in horror films, man. That's the best part of it, trying to figure out why is he doing it, like Pumpkinhead, or Michael Myers or Leatherface. Why is he behaving this way, or why are they why are these particular victims and so forth. That's the best part of it, and having to perform that to sell to the audience that kind of that kind of behavior. Yes, you did your job as a performer. Much respect that you should deserve to do so.
Yes, absolutely.
With this film, I mean, do you think Jason has become the unsung hero in a way for a villain? Most serial killer that we've known to this day and age is becoming more of a hero. Do you think this formula should just stay away from that kind of mentality, or do you think it's actually working?
That's a good question. It's a really good question. Some people can look at Jason Voorhees as a hero, where some may not. But it does seem like a lot of the past couple films and certain things, it's like, go, 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 kill, kill, kill. What's the coolest kill you can do? Yes, that's awesome. Oh, so people are, they're rooting for Jason, and they want to see that really awesome kill and how he does it. And I think that's where you get the hero aspect of Jason Voorhees, especially with that special type of kills and everything and running around. And two, it makes it easier, too, if you have other characters in the film that are kind of nasty. So when Jason kills them, then it's a lot easier to be like, oh, that's awesome. And you didn't really have some sort of emotional connection or something with this obscure character that's kind of a jerk or whatever, or just annoying or whatever. But if you get characters in your film that are playing along, Jason Voorhees or the co-stars or whatever, that have a really good story, or they're trying to see where it'd be tend to like Jason necessarily wouldn't be the hero and be more of a monster, where you get to run away, get away from him, we want him to get, and that type of thing. It depends on the story, I think, of where they really put in the character development of the co-stars. So like I said, if you have one that's just a pain in the neck and just, God, we hate God, he's annoying, and blah, 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 you don't care. You don't necessarily care if they get killed. Whereas, like, the heroine or something, or the gal that's the main, or guy or whatever, you kind of want him to get away. You kind of want him to fight Jason. So, for example, the 2009 reboot, that character was just freaking evil, and they set it up so well. And we were all like, yes, it's Jason Voorhees, But then, I think, like you said, it could be kind of somewhat dangerous if you try to follow along that really like that superhero type of character, and then it kind of shies away from the horror a little bit. Definitely with ours, we're definitely staying away from any type of campiness or hero aspect. We still want Jason to be popular, sure. We still want Jason to have an impact. But we also want the other characters to have drive and motivation and development. And people can fall in love with those characters too. So if you lose somebody, or God, I like that guy, damn it, he got him, or something like that, we're trying to have kind of like an all-around type of feel with Jason. Not too heroic.
So it's like a build-up, and then it's like a build-up, let-down type of movie, but like in a good way, though. Like, oh, what? That kind of deal.
Because if it's just all Jason all the time and whole thing, I think it loses. I think it would lose its lust. I think you have to have other characters that have their own personal stories, and what drives them. Where are they coming from? What are they trying to do? Why are they here? And then throwing Jason into the mix, now their whole world gets messed up. I think that's where it goes. You have a story of these characters and these people, and they're on their own journey or whatever, where it starts and to what they're doing, and then you throw the hunter in there, you throw Jason, you throw the monster, and then it mixes everything up, and then you kind of go from there. I think you can stay away from that, like that real hero aspect. But you're always going to get cheers every time you see Jason on the screen. We always, God, that's so cool. Oh, look at that, or a certain kill, or how he looked. Yeah, we're always going to go crazy for that. So
having to actually stray away from its own vehicle, do you think this can be a better way to actually repopularize the overall story of the Friday 13th in general, or ongoing with these fan-made films, including this one?
Oh, absolutely. All these different fan films, and like I've said before, this isn't a competition. We want everybody to do well, because if everybody does well, it just ups the game. And when it ups the game, when you're in competition with yourself and try to put the best product out there, if we can all do it, then we have a bunch of these fan films that fans can look at and go, man, that kill by Jason Brooks was awesome. I loved C.J. Graham in this. Or I really liked I really didn't necessarily how I liked that, but I loved this. Oh, and Jason Rising, we really liked this and this. The discussion boards and all the Facebook, all the social media posts and everything. There's a big enough drive with these fan films, and they become successful, such as, Never Hike Alone. Writers are going to see this, and big writers, and Hollywood writers. You want to write a Friday the 13th film. And maybe they can find the elements and things that the fans, the real fans, like from all these other fan films. Maybe they can find something and create something that we can all really enjoy, that's backed by big money in Hollywood studios, that we can a majority of us can fall in love with, and not necessarily disappointed because of the last always hit and miss. But definitely, I think if there's a lot of content with these fan films that people make, that's just more things to pick and choose. It's more things for people, like I said, to look at, to find their favorites, people that like, or Hollywood or whatever, if they see what the fans really like, and then they can see that and maybe adapt it into their own type of story or their own movie. Yeah, I think it's absolutely beneficial. And other fan films can look at other fan films and see maybe what worked for fans and what didn't, and taking that information and making your own, organic movie story with some elements of maybe some do's and don'ts or something, and put something else out there. So yeah, definitely, I think it's very beneficial.
It's the fact is, when you're getting your work out there, showing all your best, and you have to show your best. You can't just simply just play and make it as a job. You got to but it doesn't matter how big the role is, or if it's a fan-made film or not. The fact is, you treat it the way you want it to be treated as. If you just treat it as a job, or you just treat it as just some kind of a film that you're working on, it's not going to go as planned as you want. It's going to go downhill. No one's going to pay attention to it as much as you think it would. It doesn't matter. The fact is, when you get it out there, people are going to look at this, people are going to recognize it, and the best part of it is when everybody is sharing the same common interest, which is kind of lacking now as we go by on these years. Common interest is becoming less and less in cinema, and it's more just one-sided coins, driven these days with these companies and these online streaming services and stuff like that. That's great if you do try to get your film out there through these online services and stuff like that, but when it comes to the heart of it all, it's starting to lack, because you're thinking more about of the overall money in some companies, about the fame, rather than just where it started.
Absolutely.
When is this Jason Ryan supposed to be coming out? Like in the next year or two? Do you think we'll expect that? Or I know it's about to be filming. I mean, who's directing this so far? I don't think you mentioned that.
Director is James Sweet, and he is a local actor here in town. And then we've got Carl Winery, who's a producer. Freddie Heath, he's running the camera. And these guys were the original kind of three, plus myself. Myself with James Sweet and Carl Winery. They kind of approached me and said, hey, we want to do this Friday the 13th fan film. And I'm kind of like, okay, sure. A lot of times when people we want to do this really cool thing, and I was never really familiar with fan films or anything like that. I actually wanted to do a Punisher fan film and produce it at one time. So this kind of fell in my lap, and James Sweet, the director, he approached me and asked me if I'd like to play Jason Voorhees. And I was just like, for a minute, kind of like stumped, and then thought, dude, how freaking cool would this be? Just ultimately cool. And then just kind of taken that. And then as much momentum as we thought, we've exceeded our GoFundMe campaign by 12,000 or so more now. And now it's kind of getting like, well, it's always been real, but now it's just all this pressure is building up of like, dude, you better perform. Yeah, James is an awesome director. He's great to work with. He's very easy, and he knows what he wants. And he's like, I want this. This is what we're going to do. It gets done. The goal is, I believe, middle of October, November, or it could be. He wants to be done by the end of this year, no later than December is our goal. But yeah, there's a lot of talk, a lot of people that are into this genre. You go to all these Facebook pages and people chiming in and people getting the perks on the website, and it's kind of cool. And somebody will say, "Oh, I got my Jason Rising mask, and it's signed by Dan Kyle," and it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, and I love it, and I think it's great. And again, and that's more added pressure, because now this person has invested their money into this fan film, and they get a little piece of it, and now it's like, okay, here's my money, got my Jason Voorhees mask, give it to me. Give me something that I can feel like, yeah, that was whatever, $10, $50, whatever, how much that they put in. It's like, make it worth my time and money. I'm constantly getting messages through like Instagram or people following me. Nothing crazy. Nothing too crazy. As soon as they see your name and they look you up on Instagram, and every once in a while you get a couple followers, and you get several, then you look at their pictures and go, they're horror fans, very cool, and it creates a buzz. And of course, you want to get it to as many fans, as many horror fans as you can, and get this buzz going. You want them to enjoy it. You want to, hey, look, you're in a Friday the 13th fan. Well, we got a fan film for you, and here it is, and we hope you enjoy it. With the trailers that we put out 2 trailers to help promote. That got a lot of buzz going, where people saw the trailer like, wow, this looks really good. We've piqued people's interest, and they go, wow, this looks really good. I'm interested. And then they go to the Indiegogo site and they see some perks, and you're like, yeah, maybe I'll drop $15 or $20 for a poster or a T-shirt or something to help them out. out, and because this looks really good. So that's kind of what we wanted to do for trailers, to get people's interest, first reactions. Gosh, half a dozen of these, like, webisodes and stuff through Facebook that I caught, and getting people's reactions. One of them, one guy was like, "Oh yeah, Jason, yeah, he looks pretty good. I'd like him a little bit bigger." And then the next thing, "Oh no, he's a big guy. No, that works." And I'm like, "Oh God, yes." Yeah, definitely. Buzz is quite hot, and we want to get it more. We want more discussion, and like I said before, more people talking about it, what they like, what they don't like, and this way, I think it helps drive fully funded motion picture by the studios with discussion boards and things like that, and interviews and stuff like we're doing. People will see that and hopefully make something that, like I said, that we all can really enjoy.
Definitely, man. Go ahead and plug in any websites or the Jason Rising, if it's got a Facebook or any other websites that everyone can check out. The trailers,
Yeah,
everything.
Okay, there's like a sample. So we have our Jason Rising, and that's pretty much like JasonRising.com. That'll lead you to our Indiegogo page that has our trailers on there. We still have some perks available. The campaign is actually done as of 2 days ago, but it's actually still running. It hasn't been taken down yet. There could be still some perks and everything on there, but that's pretty much our main website right now. That's where you can get all the information and everything. And then they have links, and then we have a Facebook page, Jason Rising, and the Facebook page and it's open for posting Friday the 13th stuff. Not necessarily related to our film, but it's stuff that people are building or anything that's Friday the 13th fan base. People have been going on and saying, "Hey, check this out." Mainly, mostly all of our stuff, but a little bit of this and stuff. And the Vengeance guys have posted things and everything. So it's like a shared community thing, and where people can see what pretty much a lot of people are doing, but mainly it's us on the Facebook page. And then Instagram is Jason Rising as well.
Very cool, man. There you have it, everybody. That is actor Dan Kyle.